I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of the Russian Federation.
Mr. President, we thank the delegation of the United Kingdom, which initiated today's meeting. The situation in Yemen merits the close attention of the Security Council. Mark Lowcock has presented a dispiriting briefing on the situation in the Republic of Yemen, where the largest humanitarian crisis in the world is unfolding. This crisis is structural in nature. It has dealt irreparable damage to the country's economy and its population. The dry statistics provided by the humanitarian coordinator cannot express the full force of the critical situation in Yemen. A large part of the population is in need of one sort of assistance or another. Millions of Yemenis are going hungry and aren't able to have access to the necessary medical services and medicines. The country is once again in the grip of a cholera epidemic. Providing humanitarian assistance to Yemen must be one of the priority areas of our work. Assistance to Yemenis must be provided on a non-discriminatory basis, regardless of who controls the territory where they are living. We call for a comprehensive cessation of violence. We condemn indiscriminate strikes on civilian targets. We are in favor and call for the unconditional compliance with the provisions of international humanitarian law and ensuring unfettered humanitarian access to all parts of the country. For that, all of Yemen's ports, the maritime ones, including Hodeidah and Salif, and also airports, including the airport in Sana'a, must continue to be open and operational. It is important that the movement of humanitarian and commercial goods along the main thoroughfares that link the coast with the north of the country, where most of the population lives, be unimpeded. Russia will continue its unpoliticized humanitarian assistance to Yemenis in the north and the south of the country. As before, we intend to act on a bilateral and also multilateral basis, including through regular contributions to the UN World Food Programme budget. Mr. President, we have a position of principle. Improving the situation in Yemen through humanitarian measures alone will not be possible. The solution lies in the political dimension. The Security Council must not remain indifferent to the suffering of the Yemeni population and must work on the parties to the conflict with the aim of the rapid resumption of negotiations, agreeing on a ceasefire formula with the subsequent pursuit of sustainable political process. We support the mediation efforts undertaken by the Special Envoy of the UN Secretary-General, Martin Griffiths. We believe that his initiative to launch the negotiation process is important. Contacts with all of the players involved are continuing through shuttle diplomacy. We are convinced that the chance of achieving agreements, in particular when it comes to coming up with confidence-building measures, still exists. We call upon all parties to show restraint and to refrain from relying on force. The history of the Yemen conflict demonstrates that militaristic approaches do not work. Maintaining a calm situation around Hodeidah and winding down offensives must facilitate the success of Martin Griffiths' work. For our part, we shall continue to assist the Special Envoy through contacts with all of the players involved in the conflict, disposing them to become actively involved in UN mediation. In conclusion, Mr. President, we would like to once again highlight that the Yemeni conflict, or conflict in other flashpoints in the region, which includes in the absence of a comprehensive and indivisible security architecture in the Middle East, for Arab states of the Persian Gulf and for Iran. And Russia has long proposed the creation of such. And such a construct would allow us to replace the atmosphere of threats and confrontation with one of dialogue and cooperation. Thank you.
I thank the distinguished representative of the Russian Federation for his